and all. So be patient for another 10-15 minutes. So I will just give an overview of what we are doing and all. So the first slide, please. Okay, so when I heard that this college is organizing a conference on how India will become the developed country. So in fact, when we look at the United Nations New Millennium Goal, there are three aspects which are given top priority. One of these aspects is health. One is health. The other is food and nutritional security. And the third one is environment. So health, you all know that after COVID-19, it's okay. So after COVID-19, we know that health is in the top of the global agenda. And about food and nutritional security, you all are aware that there is a very rapid growth in the population, global population. And we have to feed this extra mouth. And again, the accessibility of good food is a challenge. And we discussed already in the forum session. The third is environment. Environment, whether it is air, water, soil, they all constitute a very important aspect of the ecosystem. And there are several challenges in this front. And we need to address this. Next, please. And when we talk about whether it is food, environment, or health, they all are inextricably linked with each other. Next, please. So, I have to rush through, you have to excuse me for that. So, you might guess who is she. She is an influential lady, three-time Prime Minister of Norway, and she was also Secretary General of World Health Organization. And what she says is, you cannot achieve environmental security and human development without addressing the basic issues of health and nutrition. So you must know that this is a very, very important aspect of it, is health and nutrition. Next. So when we talk about health and nutrition, we cannot undermine the role of plants. Next, please. Next, please. So when we discuss about the plants and health, this is a very old science. If you look at whether it is a Sumerian clay literature, whether it is Rig Veda, or for that matter Egyptian or Chinese, it's a 1,000-year-old science, and nobody knows when it all originated. Maybe when people have started consuming the food and it has subsided the pain, and they have started realizing probably plants could be used as a source of food. Next, please. So when we look at the challenges in the modern medicine, whether it's accessibility, whether it is affordability, whether the adverse effect of this synthetic medicine, that has given us a room for herbal medicine. And in fact, if I show you the slide which indicates that around 80% of the world population, they depends on the herbal system of medicine. And approximately 1/4 of the prescribed drug, they either contain the plant extract or the part of the plant. And if you look at the statistics, next please. The plant-based medicine is now, the global market is $62 billion US. And if you look at Indian market, it's around $1 billion US. And annual growth is around 15%, and it accounts for 30 to 40% of the annual health expenditure that we incur. And if you look at the projection, at this point of time, it is the US dollar $120 billion, and the projection is around 7 trillion by 2050. You can easily imagine the tremendous scope it has. Next, please. So different parts of the plants are used. You all, the students or undergraduates, you know that whether we use root, rhizome, stem, leaf, all these parts are used as a source of medicine. Next, please. So if you look at all complementary system of medicine, you will find the natural product, it tops the list. Around 17.7% is used on plant-derived products. Next, please. So there are many examples. I will not go into detail. So you all know whether it is protein, whether it is protophyllotoxin, whether it is thyroxine and all, they are all derived from plant sources, and the synthetic and analogs are available in the market. Next please. So look at this huge impact, whether it is alkaloid, whether it is torpin, topinoids, glycosides, huge business, global business. Next please. So what are the challenges that we face? In the morning I was telling you, you need to know the challenges in that area, then only you can work on that particular area. So the challenges in herbal medicine is, the irony is, once you know the importance of the plant, so you do the indiscriminate harvesting because you use this plant. Second is, you need to have agrotechnology for this medicinal plant, and most of the medicinal plant, the agrotechnology is not developed, how to grow it. Research and innovation. Research innovation is another important area. How to develop some of these genetic variety which will be abiotic stress resistant, biotic stress resistant, will have more of these secondary metabolite. And similarly, you have many other things like manufacturing practices, the quality. All these are very important aspects. Next please. So we have been using plant tissue culture as one of the tools to grow medicinal plants, because this is one of the technology where you can conserve, you can utilize, and you can create genetic variability. No other technology this art can give you these three things. So that's why tissue culture is also used in medicinal plant biotechnology. Next please. So I'll give you some of the stories that we are doing at Guru Nanak Dev University. This is a plant known as Rhodiola imbricata. If you have heard our Prime Minister addressing the nation on Article 370, he mentioned about one plant that grows in Leh Ladakh. This is the plant that grows in Leh Ladakh he was referring to. And it grows in the altitude of around 14,000 to 18,000 in the snow line of Indochina. And this is an endangered species. You can see one of my PhD students collecting this plant from that altitude. And next please. This has tremendous medicinal value. It is called Sanjeevani plant. And it is used as anti-anxiety. This plant is used anti-cancer. It has anti-hypoxia property. And besides this, there are, it is also used for brain health and all. And it has an array of secondary metabolites. Next please. So there are a lot of glycosides that are present in this. There are important secondary metabolites like rosine, rosabin and all, they are present in this plant. And for this, the Defense Research Organization, DRDO, they contacted us to rescue this plant, to conserve this plant. And I was telling all young students that once you know the tool, you need to know how you use this tool. So one of the important aspects of plant tissue culture is you can conserve this plant using this technology. Next please. So we developed a protocol for this plant. We are conserving this plant at our laboratory. This plant we have already filed a patent on this. We are growing this plant in our laboratory. Next please. So this plant contains rosabin, and this rosabin is used for pulmonary fibrosis. There are several reports during COVID time that this plant can be used. One is you can increase the biomass of this plant, and the other is, next please. So you have to look what kind of endophytes it has. If this endophyte produces the same kind of secondary metabolite, then that's always a boon. And we explored some of these endophytes present in this plant. Next please. Next please. So we could see that this plant contains two bacteria, and these bacteria produces the rosabin, and this rosabin is used as one of the potent drugs for pulmonary fibrosis. You can see this produces almost 4 times higher than the plant that produces. So this is already, second patent has been filed on this. Next please. So this has already come in Indian Express. This Guru Nanak Dev University working on this particular plant. Next please. We are also working another plant that is known as Vidhania coagulans, and this is called Polydodi. And this plant has tremendous medicinal value. Next please. So it is used as anti-cancer. It is again an adaptogenic plant, and it is also used as anti-inflammatory. It is used for this for So this is a plant which is in the verge of extinction in Punjab, and it is, you can see the gadgets of Ministry of Environment and Forest, where you can see next place. You can see in the second, this is Vidania coagulans. So this is in the verge of extinction. So what we did is, next place. So we developed a protocol for conservation of this plant, and we have been conserving this plant in our tissue culture facilities, and we have also brought some of this plant to outside, put it in natural habitat. Next please. So we are also developing a protocol how cost effectively we can grow this plant. Next please. So this is another plant which is known as Tylophora indica. This is again a very important medicinal plant. It grows in Madhya Pradesh, and it is used for respiratory, against respiratory problems like asthma, allergy, jaundice, and other problems. So this plant also we have worked out in our laboratory, and we had some collaborations with our medical biotechnology team, and this has already been published. Next please. So this plant is close to our chest. We have been working since last 25 years on this single plant. This is known as Vidania somnifera, known as Ashwagandha. And this plant is one of the most important medicinal plant, and highly 10 top traded herbs. Next please. So this contains a lot of secondary metabolites, and these secondary metabolites is used for, it has a lot of therapeutic potential. Next please. So it is used again, it's used for vitality, it's used for brain functions, it contains a lot of antioxidants and all. So this is one of the very important medicinal plant. Next please. So as far as the cultivation of this plant is concerned, this is the maximum area of cultivation is in Madhya Pradesh, followed by Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and then part of Rajasthan also grows this plant. Next please. So we are working on a Dream Vidania project at Guru Nanak Dev University, which can produce disease resistance, enriched with human health promoting properties, very rich in pharmaceutical active component, and along with that biotic and abiotic stress, and with a higher biomass. Next please. So we have collected many of these plants from different parts of the country, and we have analyzed this plant. Next please. So we are working on different aspects. Since last 23 years, we are working on a single plant, all different aspects, how to grow elite, and then to analyze different morphochemotypes, to look at, to get an insight that how the biosynthesis of important secondary metabolite takes place, then how we can go for precision metabolic engineering using proteomics, metabolomics, and the genomics approach. All this being taken up in my laboratory. Next please. So range of protocols, tissue culture protocols have been developed. Some of these have been already published. Some we are yet to publish, particularly on somatic embryogenesis. Next. So these are all protocols that have been developed in our lab. Next please. So this is another aspect which is very, very important. Quality assurance is a very important aspect in medicinal plant. If you are infected with fungus and all, you will be taking this plant to be curing of disease, and instead of that, the fungus will produce toxins and will adversely affect your health. So first time, next please. First time in 2008, we identified a disease in this plant, and it was published. In 2013, we identified this same disease in another species, that is coagulans. They are all reported. Next please. Next. So we identified a natural variant which was resistant to this disease, because the vidaferin and vidanum, which are important secondary metabolites, they produce in the leaf, and if the leaf is affected with this disease, then that leads to biodeterioration of the secondary metabolite. So we started identifying if there is any natural variant which is disease resistant, and we could get one. Next please. And then we started, because Alternaria is a necrophatic fungus, and necrophatic fungus, if you can look at how we can modify the cell wall factors, probably that will be one of the strategy where you can produce a resistant plant. So what we did is we looked at the lignin of both the plants, and we could find that the resistant one was higher in lignin content compared to the sensitive one. Next please. So we also analyze the lignin biosynthetic pathway genes. We one gene, that is lactase 12, was highly expressed in the resistant one. Next please. So we produce a transgenic plant using this gene. Next please. So when we produce this transgenic plant, it has a higher expression of lignin compared to the control one. Next please. So what we did is we breed these two, the sensitive one and the resistant one, and we produce, next please, we produce the hybrid one. This is the F1 hybrid. Next please. So this F1 hybrid, when it is analyzed, next please, you can go on. So this plant has higher vidacrin, higher vidanum. It was a leaf spot resistant. It was rich in antioxidant. It was having vigorous growth, and it was having good anti-proliferative activities. Next please. So it was having higher biomass. Next please. So now we are doing this in our agriculture field. The segregation lines are being grown in the agriculture field, and this was the 4th year of this study, and probably next year we are going to release this as a variety for the whole country. And in fact, in Punjab there is no agrotechnology developed for this plant, and you will be happy to know that this single plant has 1,000 crore business in Amritsar itself. Forget about rest of the state and rest of the country. Next please. So the other aspect I will quickly touch upon, which we were working at Guru Nanak Dev University, that's on food and nutrition. After I took over the charge of agriculture, so I thought this is another domain where we should focus. Next please. So I will skip many of these slides, which I thought would have been very beneficial for the student, how the approach should be developed when we talk about food security or nutritional security. So how technology is coming up in this area. So next please. So one thing which I would like to emphasize here is food is very, very important, and this is I intentionally wanted this slide to be shown, where this is Roy Lee, who is called the father of holistic nutrition, and what he says is very important. One of the biggest tragedies in human civilization is the precedence of chemical therapy over nutrition. So what we are doing is, when you go to a doctor, you come out as a patient. So most of these your problem, they give you synthetic drugs, and these synthetic drugs have adverse effects. So for your problem, you can also look at that with nutrition. How can you handle your problem? So that is one of the basic emphasis is given in the slide. Next please. So if you are taking nutrition, so what is happening is you increase the quality of life, you enhance the productivity, you reduce the healthcare cost. Next please. So there are different ways in why technology is helping. There are a lot of research which is going on, whether you can add a component. Suppose for example a component is not there at all. So how you can add that specific component to the plant. Then increasing specific phytochemical. That phytochemical is there, but the quantity is less. How can you increase that? What kind of tools you can use? The third is replacing. Suppose 9 things is good, but one thing which we do not like, maybe anti-nutritional factor is there. How can you replace that? The fourth is improving the bioavailability. So, for example, if you have a plant which is there are 9 amino acids are there, but there are 2 essential amino acids lacking. How can you increase that bioavailability? So, next please. So I will not go into detail, but these are some of the examples, these are classical examples, whether it's a golden rice, where your incorporation, you are adding a component, beta carotene is added, which is not there. So next please. So this is another example, these are all reference I have given, you can read these stories. This is published in Nature Biotechnology. This is how anthocyanin rich tomato is being produced. Next. So this is a miracle in protein, this is a taste modifying protein. So how you can, suppose if there is a sour fruit, the sour fruit you can add value to this, you can add this kind of protein to this, and you can add value to this. Next please. So these are cauliflower, they are available in the market now. So these are, you might have seen the white floret, but look at this, these pigments are good for your health. Next please. So when you grow this kind of cauliflower, you can go for a processing. End-to-end technology has to develop. So you can go for pickle in our Guru Nanak Dev University, you have developed pickle out of it. Next please. So there are all other vegetable crops which you can increase the antioxidant and all. Next please. So I will not go into all this. You can take down this reference and read this story. How anti-nutritional factors are being removed. For example, lossy ball. This is an anti-nutritional factor in the cotton seed. So you can remove this through gene silencing. Next please. So next. So then cassava, linamarin is a anti-nutritional factor. So you can remove linamarin from cassava. Next please. Next. So there are two seed genes which have been silenced, and this linamarin-free cassava can be produced. Next please. So this is coffee. In coffee, caffeine is an anti-nutritional factor. So you can remove this caffeine from coffee using this gene silencing approach. Next please. Next. So this story you all know, it came in Nature Biotechnology. How to produce tearless onion in onion. So this story has already been in public domain. Next please. So next. So this is the fourth example, bioavailability. Mavara corn is an example of how lysine-rich corn can be produced. Next please. So this is the lysine, it combines with ketoglutarate, and there are two enzymes, lysine ketoglutarate reductase and saccharophyte dehydrogenase. These are the two enzymes which helps in conjugation of lysine with alpha ketoglutarate. So if you silence this, you can make this lysine freely available. Next please. So efforts at Guru Nanak Dev University, I'll just take a couple of minutes to sum it up. Next please. So we have been working on the sweet potato. Normally you might have seen sweet potato which is white in color, right? This is a sweet potato which is very rich in beta carotene and around 270 microgram per gram of beta carotene. So this has been, we are working with close collaboration with Central People Research Institute, Bhubaneswar. And next please. So we have developed the tissue culture protocol for this. Next please. So this is another sweet potato, which is anthocyanin-rich sweet potato. You might not have seen this, but we are doing trials on this at Guru Nanak Dev University. Next please. So we have been growing this at Guru Nanak Dev. Just recently, a week back, we harvested some of these. Growing very well at Punjab conditions. So this could be a potential crop for Punjab. Next please. So this is banana. Banana is not grown in Punjab. So we made an hour because banana is a powerhouse of nutrition. Next please. So we developed a protocol for G9 banana as well as some cold tolerant banana that we collected from Sikkim, and maybe those are good for northern India. Next please. So you can see how banana is growing in Punjab. Next please. So this is apple. Apple, you might have seen apple growing in Himachal Pradesh or Jammu Kashmir. This apple is growing at Guru Nanak Dev University of Research. So we have developed apple which is, this is the last year we harvested around 250 kilo of apple from a small orchard at our university. And now we are doing all the rootstock which will be useful for the farmers, and this work is going on at the university. Next please. So these are tissue culture protocol through which we are now doing this flow-field apple at Guru Nanak Dev University. Next please. So I come to the conclusion hurriedly. I summed up so that there will be some kind of space for next speaker. So plants play a major role in health and food and nutrition security. The changing trend of back to nature, it's important to explore more about plants, enhance their commercial value, and use them for the benefit of the society. Next please. So these are all students working with me. A lot of PhD students, postdoctoral students, they are contributing to this research. So they are all involved in different aspects of research. Next please. So these are our collaborators at national level and international level. We are collaborating with different institutes across India and outside India. Next please. So a special thanks to our funding agencies who have funded our projects and all. Next please. So my message to all of you, youngsters and all, eat well and stay healthy. Thank you all. I thank the organizers for this. Hopefully I will wind up in 15 minutes. Thank you all.